Welcome to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Burkeen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lee Burkeen, host of the Sports Scouting Report podcast. Today's show is going to be about the LSU recap with Alabama. What a huge win. Wow. I was at the game. And we're also going to talk about Dylan Carpenter, LSU's newest commit in the class of 223, which is the 25th commitment. And it's an unlimited class, so they can sign over 25. And I expect this class to be in the high to mid-30s when it's said and done with transfers and high school kids, because you can sign as an unlimited amount of players this year. Because of the COVID year, they're allowing all these rosters to catch up for college football that are pretty low on numbers still. Let's go ahead and start with LSU. And before we do that, I want to thank my sponsors, John Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City. Thank you for being a great supporter of our podcast. I appreciate that. And Medine's Collision Center, thanks Chris and Dominica Medine for being a great sponsor as well, located here in Baton Rouge on Kincaid Avenue. Also, the Bugman, Professional Pest Control, Paul Solvant, thank you for your support. They're located in New Orleans, Ascension Parish, Lafayette, and Baton Rouge. That's 923-BUGS, 923-2847. Medine's Collision Center, you want to give them a call at 357-7983. And also, a great sponsor of ours, Gross Savon, right outside of Lake Charles, true sportsman's paradise. Be sure to book your next eco tour, fishing, hunting, freshwater or saltwater trip, and give them a call at 337-598-2357. Let's go ahead and talk about the LSU game. I was at the game, and my first game to ever attend as a kid and in my life was 1974 with my dad. I believe it was Kentucky. I've been to some really, really great games at LSU over the years. You know, there's been some great memories with different coaches. And this is the loudest game I've been to since 2019. That's when LSU played Florida at home against, Joe Burrow was the quarterback the national championship year. And I'm just talking about Tiger Stadium. But 2019 was not as loud to me as the game this past weekend against this incredible Alabama team. Even though they were ranked number 6, I still think Alabama is the most talented roster in the country. And why is that? Well, I think Young, their quarterback, is going to be one of the top 3 picks in the draft as a junior. Gibbs, their running back, will be the first running back drafted as a junior in the first round coming up in the next draft. Their tight end, Latu, is going to be probably the first or second tight end picked in the draft, who's a senior. They have 2 O-linemen that are going to be high draft picks in the draft. The kid that came from Vanderbilt that LSU tried to get, Stein, however you pronounce it, Tyler Stein, he's going to be a high draft pick along with Emil Ikafor, who, number 55, it's a road grader. He's got a chance to be a high draft pick. And then on defense, Will Anderson, their DN, is going to be a first-round draft pick in this next draft. And the top 5 picks, or maybe the first pick of the draft. And then Henry Toa is going to be possibly a first-round pick linebacker in this next draft as a senior. And there's junior safety, Brian Branch, is going to be a first-round draft pick if he chooses to leave. And I can go on and on. There's going to be about 8 or 9 players go from rounds 2 to 6. So we're talking about 15, 16 players. They're going to be first round, about 5 at least in the first round, and then about another 10 or 12 that'll get drafted. It's going to be a large draft for Alabama, one of the best ever. LSU doesn't give up a touchdown till the fourth quarter. We're going to take a break and come back and talk more about the LSU game. And also we're going to mention Dylan Carpenter, LSU's newest football commit, who have had a chance to see play many times at Santa Maria High School right outside of Baton Rouge. We'll be right back. Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you. Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Burkeen. I want to go back to LSU-Alabama game recap. They don't give up a touchdown till the fourth quarter. Think of that. Is that an amazing defensive performance against a high-octane offense that's averaging 21 points to 28 points in the first half? Sometimes 21 in the first quarter, Alabama. People say, well, Alabama's offense is not as good. I don't buy all that. Not when you got the number one running back in the country, the number one quarterback in the country. 3 of your 5 offensive linemen are going to get drafted in the NFL draft coming up. And then you've got 5 NFL future receivers who are just young. You got the best tight end in the country in Latu, who's 6'5", 250, runs a 4.6. No, they're pretty good. Their defense is 3 deep as usual. They're going to have 8 players drafted from their defense in this next draft. Incredible game plan by Coach Matt House on defense. And look, if Alabama, they don't make 4 field goals, if this guy Will Ricard, if he doesn't make 4 field goals, it's not even close. Because they have to kick 3 field goals, Alabama does, in the first 3 quarters of the game, basically. Because the LSU defense was that strong. And look, take your hat off to Jaden Daniels for being such a gamer. When the game is on the line and they have to answer Alabama in that fourth quarter, because Alabama's always coming back at you in that fourth quarter. But Jaden did what he had to do, running the ball, throwing the ball. And look, what a game by Mason Taylor at tight end. I mean, he had a great touchdown in the earlier part of the game, in the corner of the end zone. What a great catch. The freshman from Fort Lauderdale, St. Thomas High School, St. Thomas Aquinas, where Michael Irvin went, by the way. And 2 other current LSU Tigers, Garrett Dummerville and also the center, Martinez, are both from St. Thomas Aquinas High School, along with Turner, the DN for Alabama. And the defensive back, they got a defensive back for Alabama that started a safety that's also from St. Thomas Aquinas. There's about 8 kids between the two teams Saturday night that had players from St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale. Isn't that crazy? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about LSU. And then, like I said, we'll talk about Dylan Carpenter, what he brings to LSU as a defensive end from Santa Maria High School. We'll be right back. If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, go see Madine's Collision Center located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Your Baton Rouge Accident Advisors. Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Burkeen. Continuing on with LSU, the offensive side of the ball, what a game by Josh Williams, the former walk-on running back. That kid just continues to impress me on what he does every week. Some of the runs that he had in the game, that pivotal 3rd and 7 in the fourth quarter where he was stopped in his tracks and then gets 7 yards to get the first down. Just determination. And the touchdown that he scored late in the game, stopped basically on the 3-yard line and just powered itself in the end zone. What an incredible determined young man that kid is, Josh Williams from Texas. He's got another year left, believe it or not. It seems like he's been at LSU for 10 years. I thought LSU's wide receivers did catch the ball really well when they had the opportunity. Malik Neighbors had a good game. I think Butte had some key catches. Obviously, Mason Taylor. But the receiving corps did a good job. I really think they did a really good job. The offensive line blocked well late in the game, and also throughout the game, I thought they did a pretty good. Now, they gave up 6 sacks, but Alabama's averaging about 5 or 6 a game, and I don't think you can keep Will Anderson out of the stat column and Turner, and that defensive line they have is the real deal. And they're going to have a few of those guys drafted. But, again, overall, I thought LSU's offensive line did a great job when it mattered most. Jaden Daniels is incredible under pressure. What he did in that game was incredible. But we're going to take a break. Let's talk when we come back. We're going to talk about the last play of the game, actually, going for 2. And I'm like all LSU fans, stunned that it's actually going to happen. We're going to be right back with the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Burkeen. Podcast, we'll be right back.
What does that bug man do?
Not only do we do pest control, we do odor control, bat removal, moisture control, rodents, and of course, bed bug control. Give the bug man a call. We get them before they get you.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Burkeen. We're talking about the LSU-Alabama game of the century recap. We're also going to talk about Dylan Carpenter, the newest LSU commit from Santa Maula High School here right outside of Baton Rouge, Santa Maula High School. Me, like thousands of other people at the game, was completely I was stunned when LSU made the touchdown in overtime, when Jaden ran for the touchdown in overtime, and Coach Kelly's going for 2 right away. And I thought they were not going to do it when they called the timeout, when Kelly did. But what an incredible big boy call. One of the greatest calls in the history of LSU football, with so much on the line to go to Atlanta. You haven't beaten Alabama since 2010 at home. Jaden Daniels rolls out, hits Mason Taylor right in the corner of the end zone, right enough room to do it. One of the greatest scenes I've seen in Tiger Stadium in my life. And I've been going to games since 1974, home games. I know that fulfilled a lot of frustration for a lot of LSU fans that the last couple of years weren't, really that great. And this has really cemented Coach Kelly's future early on, that he is a great coach, that he knows what he's doing. The staff has prepared this team. They took the open date and actually beat Alabama, who had an open date. Saban very rarely loses open date games coming off of an open date. But it's incredible what the staff did with these young men. And most of these guys are freshmen or transfers in your starting 22, because there were so many holes to fill when Coach Kelly took the job. But I noticed a lot of these players every week getting better and better, and that's coaching. It reminds me of Saban or Bill Onsparger with the development side, and also game day coaching. They adjust. That call at the end of the game with Mason Taylor and Jaden Daniels, the go for 2 to win the game, was a play that was drawn up by your head coach. He had it in his pocket the whole night. They did use that play earlier in the year. Mason Taylor scored his first touchdown on that same play earlier this year, but it had been a while since they've used it to show that to Saban, which was also very smart. Caught Nick Saban off guard. They beat him. They knocked Nick Saban out of the playoffs for the first time in many years, and also out of contention since the first time since 2010 where they're not even in contention for the playoffs before they play Auburn. Incredibly well done, Coach Kelly and staff. These kids are very confident. I feel like they're going to beat Arkansas, even though it's going to be cold and early. Put all that aside, the team is mentally focused. You can see that. You can see they bought into Coach Kelly and the way he thinks and the way he wants things done. They were prepared. They came together as a team, a bunch of transfers, some highly recruited freshmen, mixed in with some veterans. And you can tell they're finally all on one pace. They're all getting the signals and understand the defensive scheme, the offensive scheme. Everybody's basically come on and they've gelled at the right time. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Dylan Carpenter, LSU's newest commit from Santa Maria High School, defensive end. I've seen this kid play many times, and we will talk about him when we come back. Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life. Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Burkeen, Sports Scouting Report podcast. Look, go to YouTube and subscribe to back us so we can keep growing, which we're getting subscribers, and we really appreciate the people that are doing that. But hit the subscribe button for YouTube for the Sports Scouting Report podcast. And then thank you for all your support with Podbean and wherever you get your podcast. Thank you for supporting the show, whether it's through this, Facebook, Twitter, or our website, lafootballmagazine.com. You can still get magazines for this preview season for the playoffs. Let's go ahead and talk about Dylan Carpenter, LSU's newest commit, class of 223. I know this kid. I've met his mom. I've met his family. We had Dylan Carpenter on our TV show back in the summer of this year. Dylan is one of the toughest kids you'll ever meet. He's one of the nicest young men you'll ever meet. He's all of 6'4", maybe almost 6'5". He's long. He's about 240, 245, lean and built like a big-time defensive end and can run for days. And he's very football savvy. He knows the game. He has instincts. And I'm most impressed by his effort, but his God-given feet. For a guy that's 6'4" and weighs 240, 245, this kid can run like a linebacker. And I got a chance to see Dylan play as a sophomore and last year as a junior. And he's impressed me so much with his ability to chase quarterbacks as a pass rusher and also play the run, which is, you don't see that a lot with a guy that size in high school playing defensive end. Number 99 is his jersey at Santa Maria High School. I had a chance to go this year, his senior year, and watch him play against Opelousas High School, where he dominated. Even though they lost the game, he had a great game, and their D-line's very talented too. They got a kid named Anderson on the D-line who's a senior, who's about 6'3", about 250, and also committed to Southeastern. They have a heck of a defensive line. But Dylan Carpenter is a great get. It's a great eye by Coach Kelly and his staff at LSU. This is a kid that's going to be about 270 when he's done growing. And he's going to run about a 4.6 when he's 270, getting in LSU's nutrition program, the weight room. He'll probably be around 6'5", about 270, 265. Like I said, running 4.6, 4.65. And who does he remind me of? He's got the build of a Joey Bosa. You know, he played at Ohio State, obviously in the NFL, but he's got that build. He's got that that specimen body that you look for that you're trying to sign, and that speed. Dylan Carpenter's a local kid that's going to be a great player for LSU. And look, he could play early minutes because he's got that God-given ability physically to get on the field early. By the time he's on the field next year as a true freshman, he'll be around 250, which is not much from where he is now. But remember Dylan Carpenter. He'll end up being one of the best players in this class of 223 for LSU. I hope you enjoyed listening to the show. Again, go to YouTube and subscribe for free with us. Continue to support us, and we thank everybody that listens to the show. And our guest this week, we've got former LSU basketball head coach John Brady joining us Wednesday. That's right, John Brady, former LSU basketball coach and current color analyst, play-by-play guy for LSU basketball. He does a phenomenal job currently with LSU basketball. We're going to talk to him about the basketball program and then obviously his Final Four team back in the day, and also just basketball in general. I think people will enjoy it. John Brady joins us on Wednesday. Look, we'll see you soon. Thanks for listening. Lee Burkeen with the Sports Scouting Report podcast. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Burkeen.